Hey guys, what's up? This video is about the name change that we've received from the Jack Knights. These have been changed from the OCG to the TCG to be called the Mekk Knights. This is a strange name change, as there already exists a Mekk archetype. You might be more familiar with the cards known as the Mecha Lords. Mekk Lord, known as Machine Imperial or Kiko in the OCG and anime up until episode 103, these are based on anti-synchro archetypes used by the three main villains of the third arc of the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds.
Primo is fine. His mechanized makeup does not require your pity. Although it's quite intriguing to me that you would even offer it, after all that he's done to you and to your city. Truly, you always find a way to surprise me, Yusei Fudo.
These are the three pure nobles, and their combined form a poor.
Who's the new dude out there?
He came from nowhere.
Whoa, you see that? Yeah, Team New World all combined and formed this guy.
Oh my! First the fusion of three humans, and now it seems their dual runners are going to be getting into the mix!
The archetype is split into several groups, consisting of Mecha Lord Emperors, Mecha Lord Astro, and Mecha Lord Army. The component pieces of the Mecha Lord Emperors are also represented in the wide skill, Grinnell, and attack archetype.
Behold my new power!
Oh man!
Behold, Mecha Lord Emperor Grinnell!
Mecha Lord Emperors and Mecha Lord Astros have their colours representing material. Weisel is silver, Skeel is sapphire, and Grinnell is gold. Mechanical is platinum, and Asterix is an amalgam of the three previous Mecha Lord Emperors. The first three Mecha Lord Emperors have been released as standalone cards, albeit with their whole form, in a single card instead of the 5 that you might see in some of the earliest games, such as on the PSP you have Tag Force 4 and 5. They introduce the Mecha Lord Emperors as 5 different ligaments. The arm, the shield, its head, the main part, and various other pieces. They retain their synchro stealing effect, and Weisel and Skeel are the only monsters that can attack whilst on the field. Grinnell, though, still allows other monsters to attack. However, instead of having to destroy a core monster, they are summoned when any monster is destroyed by a card effect, making them highly splashable. Additionally, Weisel has the ability to negate spell cards. Grinnell can special summon the synchro monsters equipped by its effect, and Skeel is able to attack directly by sending an equipped monster to the graveyard. Mecha Lord Astral Mechanical, Mecha Lord Emperor Weisel, and Mecha Lord Emperor Grinnell are V-Jump promotional cards. The Mecha Lord Army are weaker incarnations of the Mecha Lord Emperors used by Aporia, as well as Mecha Lord Astro Dragon Asterix, and other support cards for this archetype were released in Extreme Victory, alongside Mecha Lord Emperor Skeel in the set's TCG release. Now, as for the playstyle itself, this archetype focuses on taking advantage of the opponent's synchro monsters and destroying other monsters you control in order to special summon the Mecha Lord Emperors. These monsters are compatible with virtually any deck and can stand alone despite the lack of synchro monsters on the field. The low levels of Mecha Lord Emperors allow them to work around level-restricting spell and trap cards. Since the release of Extreme Victory, there are a number of support cards that will help you bring out your Mecha Lord Emperors, such as Mech Timed Blast, You should keep many Mekk Lord army cards in your deck, and to use cards such as Gold Sarcophagus to add Mekk Lord Emperors back to your hand from your deck. Now, while the Mekk Lord engine focuses mostly on self-destruction by card effects in order to special summon the Mekk Lord Emperors, this approach is rather unpractical in the current day, as with the development of the Xyz, Fusion and Pendulum summon mechanics, the effectiveness of Mekk Lord Emperors is significantly reduced, not to mention with the new links as well. While Mekk Lord Emperor Grinnell can reach high attack values, it gains half the attack points when it's summoned of your opponent's life points, so typically, if you're fortunate enough to get it out as a starter, then it could have 4,000 attack, but more likely in situations it will probably have something closer to 2,000 attack. Mekk Lord Emperor Skill has low attack values and a situational effect, whilst Mekk Lord Emperor Weisel is the most useful, with its ability to negate spell cards being consistently used by your opponents these days, as trap cards tend to be forgotten more, and it possesses quite decent attack and defense stat values, but not sufficiently powerful to become its own boss monster. Instead, the Mekk Lord army offer more stable and faster plays, many of them related to battle. Mekk Lord Army of Grinnell.
飛行兵グランエルアインの効果発動。1ターンに1度、相手モンスター1体の攻撃力または守備力を半分にする。私はアーマードホワイトベアの守備力を半分にする。グラビティプレッシャー。
Can half the attack of an opponent's monster upon being normal summoned. Mekk Lord Army of Weisel can enable piercing.
飛行兵ワイゼルアイン。
Whilst Mekk Lord Army of Skill is capable of floating.
スケールアインを紹介。
While themselves they may not be as impressive, their stats and type can enable some outsourcing. For example, one can employ Machina Gearframe and Machina Fortress, as is common in many machine decks. Both Gearframe and Army of Weisel possess 0 defense, which makes them an excellent niche for Masked Chameleon, enabling both rank 4 plays and, ironically, synchro plays as well. Through Army of Skill, one can maintain field presence, and on the next turn, Xyz summon cards such as Gear Gigant X to search for more monsters, or just any rank 4 that can be needed. In order to fuel this strategy, some cards like Chaos Infinity are recommended and easily used. Chaos Infinity can combo well with the Karakuri monsters and their battle position effects. The field spell Fortissimo the Mobile
私はフィールド魔法起動要塞フォルティシモを発動。
is another good asset to perform swarming. A good idea is to normal summon Army of Grinnell and then use the effect of Fortissimo, ensuring the weakening of your opponent's monster and fueling one's offensive even further. Other options that can combo well with some of the cards mentioned are Speedroid Menkoto, Heroic Challenger Assault Halberd, Red Resonator, and the more situational Black Salvo. Menkoto and Assault Halberd can work very well with Chaos Infinity. The former can set the condition needed for Chaos Infinity, while the latter can simply special summon it by its own effect. Then one simply needs to set a monster. Finally, activate Chaos Infinity, and it will yield the grand total of 3 monsters at once, 4 if one can use Fortissimo, enabling a powerful offensive. Several Karakuri monsters can also work well with these monsters, and the aforementioned cards. Iron Call is also an excellent choice. It's a spell card that helps you search out a machine monster from your deck. Another less used idea is to use Jumbo Drill. By using its effect, provided another level 4 machine monster is on the field, it can increase the level of all machine monsters by 1, enabling rank 5 players, including Cyber Dragon Nova, which can go into the more powerful Cyber Dragon Infinity, which allows for once per turn negations and to steal your opponent's monsters. This can be easily achieved through Fortismo, and to an extent Chaos Infinity, and also Army of Skill, if only one cares about the boss monsters. The Resolute Mech Lord army is another option to maintain the field and to fuel the Jumbo Drill strategy. Overall, a Mech Lord deck can work much more efficiently and faster by focusing on the Mech Lord army monsters and combo straightforward swarm maneuvers, utilising external support and the deck's own abilities. In complete contrast are the Mech Knights. Mech Knight, known as Jack Knights in the OCG, are an archetype largely made up of light attribute psychic monsters, with one Cyverse as an exception, debuting in Extreme Force. It's one of their, more unusual archetypes to be introduced recently. It's both related to and supported by the World Legacy archetype, and all of its main deck members are ranging between level 6, 7 or 8 monsters, except for the level 5 Jack Knight of the Blue Sky. This archetype is related to the World Legacy and World Chalice archetypes, as shown in the artwork of Key to the World Legacy and World Legacy Scars. Each main deck monster has a colour of the rainbow that appears in the artworks of Jack Knight of the World Scars and World Legacy Puppet. So with red you have Crimson Lotus, orange is Flickering Flame, yellow is Yellow Bloom, green is Green Heights, blue is Blue Sky, indigo is Azure Blue, violet is Purple Dusk. And the card itself is, for the visible spectrum, is Wild Scars. Now, as for the playing style, all Mech Knight main deck monsters share the following effect. If 2 or more cards are in the same column, you can special summon this card from your hand to that column. So the archetype relies on special summoning higher level monsters, while there are 2 or more cards in the same column to swarm the field and generate field advantage. Mech Knights have a Cosmo Town-like recovery method in the form of Key to the World Legacy. The field spell is very powerful against extra deck reliant decks, but otherwise fares poorly against decks with no extra deck monsters such as Cosmo, Monarch, BLS, Necros or True Draco, and is very resource intensive. Overall, there is nothing that makes them anything like each other. One works off of absorbing synchros and gaining an advantage from them, and the other spans monsters off of manipulating columns. For myself, I will continue to call them Jack Knights. Personally, I much prefer the name. It's so much better. It feels much more impressive like this than Mech, as that implies that they are machines, of which none of them are. What do you think of the name change? Is it preferable for them to be Mech Knights or Jack Knights? And how do you think their original individual names will be affected as in the OCG? They sound very impressive. I don't want any more name changing. Please and thank you, Konami. Leave your comments down below, like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe, click the bell for notifications, and as always, thank you for taking the time to watch.